Hey, what's going on, Savages? You already know who it is. It's your favorite sweaty savage, your boy Mikey Savage 21. And today I just want to bring you a quick little discussion, and we're going to be talking about the news article that just came out this weekend that Deadline reported how insiders are blaming Rotten Tomatoes for the low box office numbers for both Pirates 5 and Baywatch, which has been credited as being the worst domestic box office for a Memorial Day weekend showing in nearly 20 years. Now, according to Deadline, they report that insiders close to both films blame Rotten Tomatoes, with Pirates and Baywatch respectively earning 32% and 19% rotten. The critic aggregation site increasingly is slowing down the potential business of popcorn movies. Pirates 5 and Baywatch aren't built for critics, but rather general audiences. And once upon a time, these types of films, a family adventure and a raunchy R-rated comedy, were critic-proof. Many of those in the industry severely question how Rotten Tomatoes computes its ratings, and the fact that these scores run on the movie ticket buying site Fandango, which owns Rotten Tomato, is an even bigger problem. Now, for those of you who are still a little clueless as to what Rotten Tomatoes is, Rotten Tomato is, they do not review anything. They are an aggregation site. Basically, what they do is they take a review from over 500 plus people and they give it a score based on what they said. And a lot of people do it out of 10. A lot of people do it out of 5. Some people even do it out of 20. It kind of just depends. And so looking at the film Pirates 5, it earned 32%, meaning that 32% of the people that saw this thought it was a rotten movie. Same thing with Baywatch. So it earned a 19% out of all 500 reviews. Now, me personally, I see where they're coming from with the fact that we have become a society where we like to gauge other people's opinions and we take other people's opinions at face value. Like for me, as someone who wants to be an up-and-coming film critic and wants to be in the film industry, I do movie reviews on this channel, and some of you all take what I have to say to heart. So if I say, oh, this movie was bad, don't go see it, you won't go see it, and vice versa with films that I think are really good that I think you should check out, you will go see. But it's like my buddy Paul always says, at the end of the day, it's up to you to make your own decision. You can either take what I say at face value and go see a movie or not go see a movie, or just go see it. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes is basically the same thing. Again, they don't review anything. They take the reviews out of 500 plus people, basically about 500 or more something people, take those scores and give it a percentage. And if it's rotten, that means that 32% or 19% in this case thought the movie was rotten and didn't like it, and then the rest of the percentage, you know, thought, okay, it was kind of cool. I still don't see why people are blaming Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, look, even if you took the Rotten Tomatoes thing away and you took Metacritic away, you just took all rating systems out anyway, the general audience is still gonna go out and see the movies regardless of what Rotten Tomatoes is telling them. And even if they don't, and they go as far as the article says, where they're saying that they're gonna stop having press screenings for certain movies, not only is that showing fans that you have no confidence in your movie because you're worried that a report is going to come out and say that it was completely bad, even if you stop doing press screenings and get rid of Rotten Tomatoes, it's not going to help anything. Why? Because the general movie audience is not stupid. They know what a good movie looks like because constantly people are going to be comparing it to another movie. So if you see a Pirates of the Caribbean film, then most likely you're going to compare it to the rest of the Pirates of the Caribbean film. If you have an R-rated raunchy comedy like Baywatch, you're obviously going to compare it to other R-rated raunchy comedies. And the fact that some people say that critics don't like R-rated comedies or that they don't like these action-adventure films, there are plenty of action-adventure films and raunchy comedies that have high scores. Deadpool is one of those. Indiana Jones is another one of those. It has fairly high scores as well. So you can't sit here and blame Rotten Tomatoes for this. Rotten Tomatoes had nothing to do with this. And again, even if you take Rotten Tomatoes away, people aren't dumb. They're still gonna either be like, okay, this movie was crap, I'm going to tell all my friends about it, how crappy it was to not go see that movie. So even if you take away press screenings, even if you took away Rotten Tomatoes, you still can't take away the human mindset. We have our own opinions, and we want our opinions to be heard. If we think a movie is good, we're going to go tell our friends that movie is good. You should check it out. If we hate the movie, we're going to go tell people, hey man, you don't need to check that movie out. It was bad. Go see this movie instead. But again, people blaming Rotten Tomatoes, this kind of goes back to last year when we had the discussion with all the critics being DC biased, where all these Marvel films have really high fresh scores and then all the DC films are rotten. And you can't necessarily say that because look, Wonder Woman just came out, and right now as it stands, it still has a 96%. I have to go back and double check the number. Right now it still has a 96%. It's still the most highest rated comic book film to date. Why? Because Wonder Woman was a generally good movie. Critics enjoyed the movie. They enjoyed the little nuances that it brought. They enjoyed the character. They enjoyed the direction of the film by Patty Jenkins. They enjoyed Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. And the list goes on and on. So again, I don't think we should necessarily blame Rotten Tomatoes for low openings for films or for people not going to see films, because ultimately people are going to go see films whether they like it or not. Now, I personally, for Baywatch, I didn't think Baywatch is going to make that much because, first of all, Baywatch came out back in the late 80s, 90s. All of us are grown up now, and this generation knows nothing of Baywatch. They know who Zac Efron is, they know who Alexander Daddario is, they know who The Rocky is, but they don't know what Baywatch is. Same thing with Pirates. Maybe people are just tired of the Pirates of the Caribbean films. Maybe Johnny Depp's personal life had something to do with it and why they kind of somewhat hit him for most of the marketing. It could be a slew of things of why these films didn't make money this weekend. Maybe people just would rather go stay at home and watch the movies that they just came out with on Blu-ray. Like Logan just came out not too long ago. Get Out came out. Before I Fall. Some of these other great movies came out. So people are like, oh, well, since it's Memorial Day weekend, instead of going to the movies, I'll just kick it at home and watch something on Netflix, or I'll just watch a movie that I just got from Best Buy or wherever. So again, I personally don't think we should blame Rotten Tomatoes for anything. I love Rotten Tomatoes, and look, I do take Rotten Tomatoes at face value, but also I know as a reviewer, I have an obligation to you all who are subscribed to my channel to go check out every single movie that I can and give my opinions on it. Now, again, you can take my opinions with like a grain of salt. At the end of the day, it matters what you think, not what I think. So guys, what do you think of Rotten Tomatoes? Do you think Rotten Tomatoes should just stop aggregating? Do you think that studios shouldn't do press screenings anymore? Do you think the whole system would really self-correct itself after a couple of years anyway, even if they did take Rotten Tomatoes out of the picture? Let me know these things down in the comment section below, and as always, make sure you check out some of these other videos that I've done most recently this week. And I hope you all have a blessed day. And remember, as I always say, to become a savage, stay a savage, and peace out, y'all.